Hey guys, what is up? So today I am doing a video which I feel like is a surprise to some, but I feel like once you know, it's probably not that big of a surprise to others, and that is a Meet My Alters video. If you guys don't know what an alter is, it's people that have multiple personalities, dissociative identity disorder, which I've actually talked about quite frequently. I feel like this is another video that's going to come up and people are like, oh, Trisha jumping on another bandwagon, Trisha trying to do this. In actuality, I've talked about it plenty of times. I've talked about it on a TV show, even Reels TV, where I was doing a it was like a documentary thing on Marilyn Monroe, and I went to like the place where she had her first photo shoot at Zuma Beach, and I was talking about DID there. I dated a girl who also had a DID, and we talked about it a lot there. She has alters, multiple personalities, and yeah, I feel like it's something that I don't necessarily delve into or even talk about. I definitely tell people in my real life. So many people ask, do you have a disorder? Are you diagnosed with something? Are you bipolar? Are you schizo? And I'm like, honestly, I've never been diagnosed with anything. The closest thing that I have self-diagnosed myself, I guess, is multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder, or both, because there's some differences, there's some similarities, and some people just think they're like all same or all completely different. For me, I consider them quite similar, but I think my disassociating comes differently than in the form of my alters. So I feel like the alters are my multiple personality, and I feel my dissociativeness is in a different realm, and it usually only takes place, I guess, under Trixie, which I guess that's disassociating, because like another alter is coming to the front. This is not something to, like, I don't want to scare people, and in general, I guess I don't really tell people the extent of it. My own shell, Trish. Unfortunately for me, Trish, I never really formed my own personality. I always thought I kind of was like taking other people's personalities, or borrowing, or becoming like my friends, or becoming like my boyfriends, or becoming around the person I'm around, which I still do to a certain degree. And I feel like Trish, if anything, disassociates the most without disassociating, if that makes sense. So people know me as Trish, like they see me as eccentric, they see me as something different every day. And I feel like, yes, I disassociate, I guess you could call it that, into Trixie, one of my alters, but in actuality, I disassociate in general by becoming who I'm around. And I feel like that's very noticeable. When I was in England, I started having like an English accent, and I don't think everyone with the ID has this. I don't think everyone with multiple personality disorder has this. I don't think they just become someone else. I think Trish likes to. I think me, I never was able to develop my personality. But that's fine, because I have others that are there. And unfortunately, I'm someone who can't just choose, and if anything, I don't talk about it a lot, because I'm not as in tune or as in touch with my alters. I know when I feel it. I know, for instance, T, who I've actually talked about before on this channel. I can't remember what the video title was. It was when I was like not identifying as a boy or a girl. This was before my trans video. Someone, I'm sure, will be able to find it and leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I definitely wanted to go by T. Like, I didn't want to be a human. And T comes from... It's so funny, because like I talk about them, but I'm talking about them as me. And it's like, I don't know. It's like... I guess they don't come to the forefront as who they are, but I think of T in my head, and I'm like, oh, this is T right now. This isn't me. But like, if they just don't come to the forefront. I've watched a lot of videos of this recently. Most recently, obviously, Anthony Padilla did this, and I was like, oh shit, like I really wish I knew when they were coming to light. Like, I know, and sometimes it's minutes. Sometimes it's like a minute and then it's gone, or sometimes it's like a full day and I'm in that. But T is definitely the protector, is definitely non-human, is definitely not of this world, and so it's not really him or her, it's T. And T is the one that always like has, like, I say he, but like, because in my mind it's he, but it's not, is the one to be the strength, be the confidence. Everyone's like, Trish, how do you have so much confidence? It's like, well, it's T taking over Trish, because like what you guys see is Trish. Like this is, hi, Trish. If you go to my Instagram, it's @Paytas. But yeah, but definitely prefer T all the time. And he comes and goes, and there's that. Today, Trixie decided what we were wearing. Trixie has been my twin since, Trisha's twin since 7 years old, maybe even before. My earliest recollections is 7, and I would tell people about Trixie and people did not believe me. I came back to my mom and my mom was like, she doesn't have a twin, like I don't know what this is. And I talked about Trixie from about 7 to 10 before people were like, you don't have a twin, what are you talking about? But Trixie is definitely my twin, and when I stopped talking about her, we stopped. I feel like Trixie's trauma began at 10, and that's when I stopped talking about her. So I feel like Trixie kind of just got stuck in that, and I feel like some people say I live in my own fantasy world or I need to grow up, and Trixie is that one. And like, again, I know this sounds like weird because I've watched people with the same, it's not a feeling, it's the same struggle. I don't know how to describe it. To me, I don't consider it a disorder, but the same beings inside of them, and they're able to more come to the light. And I don't know if mine come to the light necessarily in voices or mannerisms sometimes. And it's like I said, it's like I can't just sit down now and be like, all right guys, come to the center, you know. I think that is just more evident by just looking at my different videos. And so many people will joke in the comments like, what Trish are we getting today? In actuality, you are getting different personalities inside of Trish. So this sounds crazy. I sound like I am losing my mind. Because when I watch other people talk about it, I'm like, they're crazy. Like I watched the Anthony Padilla one, and there's a girl, Dissociative or something, I think his name, she's British, and like I watched it and I was like, oh, like she seems crazy, but I know that's like what I sound like now, which is actually like really, really scary. But I'm just trying to explain. Again, this is pretty much self-diagnosed, but it's something that I definitely have distinct names for all my personalities. And like, I always just thought to myself, oh, I'm just Trish, but that's not the reality of it. Like, there is other personalities inside. I'm not always confident, that's T. I'm not always strong, that's T. Yeah. So there's also 2 other twins that live in the Trish shell, and that's Tyson and Tierney. And Tyson is very much my sensitive emotionalness. I feel like he doesn't come around as much anymore due to trauma that happened last year, and I feel like that's when he kind of got cut off from showing more in the front, presenting himself more. And also that has to do with Tierney, who is, it's just weird to talk about like other people as if they're like not here, but they're like there. Tierney's catty, slutty, lies a lot, but mostly for attention, never ill-willed. And Tierney's the only one that has defined sexuality. T doesn't have a gender, but is considered to be asexual as opposed to Tierney is homosexual. And he struggles with that and picks on Tyson a lot because Tyson has feminine qualities, also struggles with gender identity like Trish. So yeah, so I think just the picking on was a lot. And yeah, and unfortunately Tierney comes out quite often. The catty side has subsided like the older we get. But still, like, in the promiscuity has subsided a little bit the older we get. The lying has subsided, and it feels almost like he's dying in a weird way, and it's like really sad because he's scared Tyson away, and now Tyranny, and they're twins, you know. So it just kind of gets like scary. And it's almost like when you start feeling like someone's dying with inside of you, like one of your personalities, it's like you're